The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Dark side, light side. Which side's the right side? Let's find out.
Broadcasting from the Outer Rim territories, this is the Crusty Cantina, starring Daddy Louie, Miss V, Mr. Deacon, and Tommy D.
Welcome, everybody, to the Crusty Cantina. I'm your host this evening, Daddy Louie, and with me today we have a full house. Starting from my left, your right, it's Tommy D.
Howdy, nerds.
Followed by that, we got Miss V.
Hello there.
Mr. Deacon.
Hello, children.
And the lady of the hour, the one that we will be convincing to join the dark side, Jake Quellen.
Hello.
On this
for having me.
episode, oh, you're welcome. On this episode of the Crusty Cantina, we are going to be playing a game called Darth Daddy versus the Guardians of the Galaxy Far, Far Away. We've asked Jake Quellen to come on this show as I have a very fact-based, statement that I'm going to make about a beloved Star Wars thing. And I'm basically just going to try and convince Jackie that I'm right, while the three other contestants here are going to convince Jackie that I'm not right. So let's talk for a moment about one of, if not the most beloved character in all of Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I'm going to tell you that not only is he one of, if not the worst Jedi in the history of
You son of a bitch.
Jedi, but he is responsible for the death of millions and millions and millions of people. So let's start with fact number one. Let's remember the Phantom Menace. The very beginning of the movie, when Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn are on the Trade Federation ship, and they are being attacked by droid destroyers, and they very quickly move out of the way. You can see them with lightning speed run away.
Yes.
Let's fast forward now to the end of that movie. Wimpy little Obi-Wan Kenobi gets knocked to the ground by Darth Maul, while Qui-Gon is struggling for his life, fighting against this Sith Lord. Does Obi-Wan use that speed to catch up to Obi-Wan? No, he doesn't. He jogs. He barely moves, doesn't catch up to his master in time, and his master is killed in front of his eyes. Fact number one, the destruction of Qui-Gon Jinn is no one's fault but Obi-Wan Kenobi's.
Okay.
I'll open the floor to the rest of the folks here to
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Yeah, V, go ahead. V, I've got your back after you're done.
Let's talk about that exact moment when Qui-Gon Jinn failed and died at the hands of Darth Maul. That is no one's fault as his own. That whole moment, that whole scene is like defined as the duel of the fates. It is a duel over the fate of Anakin Skywalker. What needed to happen was Qui-Gon needed to win. If Qui-Gon had not, if he won, he would have been the Jedi to properly raise Anakin, help him deal with the internal turmoil that he had. However, if Darth Maul had won, then Anakin would have been taken to the dark side very easily. However, because Qui-Gon failed, because he only stood there and allowed himself to get stabbed, Obi-Wan, a person who was just a Padawan / apprentice at the time, was basically forced to be jumped ahead to Jedi Master and train a kid way too old to become a Jedi at the time. No one wanted this. In fact, if it wasn't for Obi-Wan stepping in and actually killing Darth Maul, Anakin would have been at the dark side to the beginning, and the Empire would have taken hold way longer, and there would have been no good in Anakin for his future son to save.
Yep. In addition to that, on a more physical level, we have, Jackie, since we're talking to you, you have to understand that the Force is finite. It's not this infinite well of energy that you can just repeatedly use over and over and over again. Prior to this this event in that shaft area, they had been fighting Darth Maul. And it was a brutal battle. And yes, we do see them move very quickly. They used force speed to, zip around. But also, they're expending the force in order to fight Darth Maul, who, as we know, was very, very well trained. And as a Zabrakian, they're already predisposed to be powerful in the force to begin with. So had it been a human fighting Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, it might have gone a little bit differently. But Zabrakians, they're already strong. And I don't want to say the dark side because not all the Zabraks are, it's a different part of the force. But they were both, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, they were both in a weakened state. So he was running as fast as he could, trying to get past those ray shields or whatever they were. Qui-Gon was tired. They fought valiantly 2 versus 1 against Maul. Qui-Gon was just tired. There was nothing that he could have done at that point. Same with Obi-Wan. They were tired. They had been fighting battle droids all day. They had been fighting those droid dekas all day. And then they fought Darth Maul, who was a very, very powerful Sith Lord. And in addition to that, Obi-Wan defeated Darth Maul, even though Darth Maul had the high ground. Just saying.
And dual sabers.
Dual
1 versus 2.
sabers.
You can stop now, Daddy Louie. We've already won. We can't hear you, Louie.
Louie, you're muted.
Oh no, Louie.
Louie. No.
We gave that motherfucker laryngitis.
Wait a minute. Now, I know this was supposed to be Darth Daddy and the Guardians and all that. Since Darth Daddy can't speak, and I'm sorry, I fucking agree with Louie.
I'm sorry.
I know.
You can't agree with Louie. You're on our team.
Not how this
Louie
works.
can't speak, so I gotta speak
You
for it.
can't. Wait a minute.
I'm giving the twist,
Oh
dude.
man.
How are you gonna fucking switch sides? You're
Mr.
no.
Deacon, you're not my real dad.
It's
Get the
even
fuck
better.
out!
What
We're
you
the
want me to do?
Guardians of the Galaxy, far, far away. He's Darth Daddy. You can't just jump ship.
I guess I'm a fucking Sith, goddammit. I'm
Here's the
gonna
thing,
roll with it.
Deacon.
There's
here's
always
what you need
two.
to understand about
The
me.
rule of 2. I just wanted to say, like, what Tommy was talking about. I remember in The Mandalorian when Grogu slept for like a whole day after he lifted the thing. So I get
He was a
the
baby.
force is finite or whatever. He's 50.
He was a baby.
He's 50.
He's 50.
He's
He's a
50
baby.
years old. He likes
He's
to
a baby.
kick and
He's a
fish
baby.
ranch. But I am remaining neutral at this time.
Let's talk about Darth Vader. Darth Vader is, the most feared villain in the universe at one point in time. He is responsible for the death of countless hundreds and hundreds of Jedi from every level, right? He basically is responsible for wiping out the entire Jedi religion at one point in time. Who allowed that to happen? Obi-Wan did. At one point in time, Obi-Wan has the ability to destroy Anakin, ending the possibility of Darth Vader, saving the lives of all those Jedi that Darth Vader would then go forward to kill. Or maybe he doesn't destroy Anakin. Maybe he takes him prisoner, saves his life, tries to turn him back to the light side. You were my brother. You were my everything at one point in time. Baloney. You left him to die. You watched him burn alive, basically. And then you sat in a cave for 20 years while he proceeded to fly across the galaxy, executing and murdering every last Jedi in existence.
The fact that you called Anakin Skywalker a villain shows how little you know about the intent of George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars. He intended Anakin Skywalker to be a victim at the hands of the Emperor. That is literally why he created the prequel series, is because people like you kept saying, oh, he's a villain. He's like, no, he's a victim. We know for a fact that Anakin, aka Darth Vader, is a victim of the Emperor's brainwashing, and everything he did was because he
Guns
was
don't
so
kill
far.
people. People kill people.
Not finished, sir.
Oh my god.
Obi-Wan has the high ground. Anakin jumps up. Obi-Wan slashes both legs and an arm, and Anakin literally catches on fire in lava. It is a horrific moment.
And Obi-Wan just walks away.
I am still not done.
You
sir.
gave up the floor, Daddy Louie. It's our turn.
So in that moment, if Obi-Wan was to kill Anakin, an unarmed person at that moment, it would have been Obi-Wan succumbing to the dark side. That is not something that Jedi do. The fact that he did not kill Anakin allowed someone who is prolific in the light side to continue in order to train the next generation. Had he killed Anakin, there would have been no one to train his children in what the light side of the Force really is. I took notes. Hold on. Obi-Wan, yeah, he didn't kill him. Yes, did he hide in a cave? Kind of. He stayed there to protect Luke. He realized that who he was not enough to kill Anakin, because Obi-Wan has never been able to kill Anakin emotionally. It has never been about physical strength. Physically, he has always been able to kill Anakin. That has never been a question. But he is too good of a person to allow himself to murder someone. And it is because of people like him who are so devout in the light side that allows Luke to be victorious at the end of the series.
So when we see
Why didn't he take him prisoner?
it's not your
You're
turn.
not on the floor, sir.
Yeah, you're done.
Totally skipped that part.
You're
though.
done. You're done. You've already said your point. You're done. So you had mentioned that Obi-Wan wanted all this credit for the kill and blah, 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 blah. We see time and time again, Obi-Wan doesn't want any accolades at all. He just wants to live the Jedi life. When the council asks Obi-Wan to ask Anakin to spy on the Chancellor, he says it to Anakin. He says, I'm not asking, the council is asking. It was that love that was heartbreaking for Obi-Wan. When Obi-Wan says, I loved you, you were my brother, that was the hardest thing that Obi-Wan had to do. But when he saw what Anakin did to Padme, when Anakin force choked Padme, the love of his life, that's it. Anakin's gone at that point. The redemption happens later, but at that point, now Obi-Wan is faced, as you said, with this menace now. But his love for Anakin Skywalker won't even allow him to kill Darth Vader. All I'm going to say is one more thing. Duchess Satine. Duchess Satine. Obi-Wan, talk about being selfless. He was in love with her, but he passed up that love for the good of the Jedi Order and his Padawan. He could have left all of it behind and ran off with the woman that he loved, but he chose not to. He wasn't thinking about himself. Obi-Wan never thought about himself. He was always thinking about others his entire life, and he died thinking about someone else. There's no glory in you letting somebody chop you and with a lightsaber. There's no glory in that. He did that for Luke's benefit.
Absolutely.
Mr. Deacon, what kind of treachery do you need to talk about?
Yeah, we can. We
don't trust you.
What are you gonna say? We'll mute you.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna buy out of this conversation. I'm gonna tell you something.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Are there any rules about like the master killing the Padawan or anything? Are there any Jedi rules?
You shouldn't do that as a Jedi.
Yeah, that's a pretty big rule. Yeah,
a Sith will chop your head smooth off.
That's a Sith thing.
Ask Darth Plagueis what happened to his ass.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Killed in his sleep.
Very much a Sith thing to kill your master.
Yeah, the Jedi don't do that.
Okay, so where my head is right now, after actually I think Ms. V kind of affected me the most in this round. I feel like you were talking about him being a victim and things like that. I feel like Obi-Wan should have killed him out of mercy So I'm going towards the dark side right now.
What's point 3 so I can hate you even more?
Digging yourself a bigger hole. Okay, final point. So we know now that Obi-Wan is responsible for the death of his master. We know now that Obi-Wan is responsible for the death of pretty much the entire Jedi Order. Now I'm going to tell you how Obi-Wan is responsible for the death of an entire planet of Alderaan. In episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan has the opportunity and the ability to end the creation of the Death Star before it even begins by taking out Count Dooku, who has the Death Star plans on him. If he was able to take down Count Dooku, he could take down Darth Maul, no problem, right? No problem to take down a Zabrakian, who is, the first Sith to ever come out of existence or come out of the shadows in over 100 years, in hundreds of years. But he can't take on a 68-year-old man with a limp, Count Dooku. If he takes out Count Dooku right then and there with his Padawan, the Death Star plans are then captured. The Death Star cannot be created, and the Death Star cannot destroy the planet of Alderaan. And the war is pretty much over.
You act like he had a choice. Dooku was a bad motherfucker. First of all, 60 years old or not, how old was Yoda? Right.
That's different.
Right.
That's different.
It's not. How's it different? It's not different.
Because it's fucking Yoda.
It doesn't matter. Judge me by my size, do you? Judge me by my age? No. It doesn't matter how old Dooku was. Dooku was a bad motherfucker. He was a duelist. He was incredible. He caused Master Yoda to kind of lose his breath a little bit. That was a fight. That was a battle. So here you have Count Dooku, who Anakin and Obi-Wan had no idea that he had the plans for the Death Star. What was the Geonosian general's name? He handed the plans off to Dooku. Nobody knew that. Anakin and Obi-Wan weren't in the room when that happened.
It's irrelevant.
Of course it's relevant, because had he known that he had the plans
harder,
maybe something else would have happened. However, everything that transpired in that hangar, that was not Obi-Wan's choice. Obi-Wan and Anakin fought Dooku as hard as they possibly could. They were bested. Pure and simple, they were bested.
There's also the fact that Obi-Wan said, we will take him together. And Anakin said, I'm taking him now. Anakin made the choice to separate himself from Obi-Wan in that meaning the two of them were not attacking
Poor training
him together.
by Obi-Wan.
Also, one thing to remember, who trained Qui-Gon Jinn? Count Dooku.
Yep.
Who trained Obi-Wan? Qui-Gon. He's literally basically dueling his grandfather. Most of the moves
Obi-Wan.
Sir, oh my God, if I could slap you. He is training someone who has literally the same training as he does. They are very, very similar in what they are going to know. Obi-Wan knew how strong Dooku was. He had a plan. Me and my Padawan are going to take him together. It was Anakin's brashness that separated him. Anakin's knocked out in the fucking corner. Obi-Wan's now on his own, fighting someone that Yoda could not even beat. So now your argument is basically saying that Yoda's a piece of shit. So let's talk about that.
Yoda would have beat him, but Count Dooku cheated.
Oh,
I will say point number 3 of Daddy Louie's. I mean, it was total coincidence. It's bullcrap. It's not even a valid point. I'm sorry. Nobody knew the things. It's a coincidence. Is he responsible because of coincidence? I don't care about that. So if I had to say point number 1, I would go maybe slightly light side. Point number 2, I was leaning more dark side. Point number 3, I'm throwing out. So I'm going to say Daddy Louie gets custody with the Guardians get, Wednesday night and every other weekend. I'm about there.
I just want you to know I had 3 more points if I really needed to dig into them.
Guys, it is such a shame that Louie and Jackie are not going to be a part of this anymore. Like, oh my God. Like, wow.
It was really nice having them on the show, though.
Y'all lucky. You're lucky that it was Darth
but
Daddy
it is honestly because I don't think Obi-Wan, like, I don't think anything bad about him. It's not exactly like Louis 1, but I feel like Anakin went through so much pain and suffering and was a victim of so much that it breaks my heart that Obi-Wan didn't kill him out of mercy. That's where I'm feeling like he had the chance to kill him, and I understand his love for him and he didn't want to, but especially when he knew that he was going to the dark side and he was cutting off all of these limbs and all this, like, it led him to a life of pain and suffering, and that like that you were saying before, like the suit that he wore kept him in constant pain, constant fear, and when he got to go into that chamber or whatever, he felt love and hope again. My heart breaks for Anakin, so I wish that he had died much younger.
But don't forget, Louis
mercy.
thinks he's a villain despite all of his suffering. Remember,
that's why
Louis says he's bad.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Oh God!
All right, let's wrap this turkey up.
I'm not on the dark side, but I'm
Put a fork in it.
Hey, poke that Circle of Nerds icon to subscribe, and ring that bell icon to get notifications whenever we post a new video. If you'd like to experience the full length and girth of our shows, full length and girth. Do I have to say that? Ugh, that's cringy. Head on over to patreon.com/Circle of Nerds for exclusive content, full episodes, and more. Thanks for watching, and stay crusty.